This is CG Ruthless Sports. I will be brutally honest. Ain't nothing but being brutally honest. Coming at you with another video.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome 49ersCap.com, Jason Hurley. What is up, man?
What's going on, man? I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing great, man. Tell everybody where they can find you on social media platform.
All right, Twitter.com. You can find me at 49ersCap and 49ersCap.com.
That's what's up, man. It's a cool name. I guess you're the cap space analyst expert, right?
You could say so, yeah.
Man, so from the looks of the contract, right, when we just signed Tayshaun Gibson, what you thought of that pickup from the get-go?
Tayshaun Gibson, I think it's going to be a 1-year minimum contract, so only count $895,000 against the cap. So he makes the roster. It's going to be a great contract. I mean, making the minimum is not going to cost a lot.
Do you think he even makes the team?
Depends on how serious Jimmy Ward and Dante Johnson's injuries are.
Oh, yeah, huh? Ward is going to miss a little bit of time. Then you got Johnson a little injured also, so that can be what the factor is. But I'm hoping it's just not to just cut him after that. Like, it's pointless.
Yeah.
But I guess it's league minimum.
Yep.
So when you look into the preseason, what was interesting about these first two games to you?
Seeing just how the team performed. Seeing Trey go out there and just fling the ball around. He didn't have many chances to do it, but that 76-yard touchdown to Danny Gray was pretty sweet. But other than that, I have been really impressed with the rookies. Danny Gray, Spencer Buford, especially Womack, Samuel Womack. That kid is just looks like a gem from that money round, that 5th round. I think we found our next K'Wan Williams, only he's younger, faster, and cheaper.
Yeah, the 5th round gems, like you just said it, we just find our money right there. But then when you were talking about Spencer Burford, man, that is I think that could be a draft steal by far because he's already making a case to be the starter at right guard. And here's what makes my my highlight of my channel so far was to get Spencer Burford on the show, and this guy blows up the roof of my channel from there. I mean, the guy's kind of proven to be exactly what he said he is. Like, he's a quick learner. I give him some straightforward answers, and I asked him, hey, if they asked you to play center, would you do it? And he said he would do it in a heartbeat and just get better at it until where he doesn't have no weakness. This guy just puts the extra work in.
I love it. Love it.
Yeah, and then Jason Pole's another guy I really like also when he was on my show, but he has that there's something about him. Like when you put him at the offensive line, you can put him at center, guard, fullback. What? Man, that guy can do it all.
Yeah. I'm a big fan. I can't wait. He's going to be a steal, I think, too. I agree. Burford was steal in the 4th round. I think they had a 3rd round grade on him, too, so they were pretty happy that he was there in the 4th round. So
he was considered 3rd round grade. I guess I was exactly correct about what I saw in him from the get-go. I mean, there was a lot of teams that were very high on Cole Strange and some other linemen, and I had to go deep on the offensive lineman and looked at a couple of films, and then I came away impressed with looking at Burford, and then for whatever reason, it came by surprise. All I had to do was just tag Spencer Burford, and then boom, he just follows me on Twitter, and then he just gives me a schedule where he can just go on the show. And then ever since then, he's kind of been it's been the lucky charm, I guess. I've been kind of preaching for this guy. I said, don't be surprised if this guy becomes our starter from day one.
Oh yeah, and he's going to be the starting right guard. I think. I think that's forgiven. That's a for conclusion. He's
Oh
already
yeah,
played well enough to earn that spot.
especially watching the way he blocks. Like he's still got to work a little bit on stuff, but I feel like he's
Yeah,
already proven to be a starter. Like I like what I've seen out of him, that physicality, the way he pass blocks and run blocks. It's like, dude, this guy's like another Trent Williams, but you put him at guard. That's
and
scary.
I think I think Trent took him and Jason Poe under his wings too, to kind of like bring him out to Texas and train with them, which is really cool to have. A guy like Williams saying, "Hey, come on out to Texas, I'll train with me." And I think Poe could make the roster too, as that ninth offensive lineman. It's possible. He's got the
Oh,
versatility. He's been playing both guard positions in preseason, and I'm not sure if he can play center or not because we haven't seen him play center in preseason, but possible.
oh yeah, I was preaching for Polo to play center, man. Because if you look at the center position, it's kind of been a concern. Like the hiking the ball, the block assignments. It's like it kind of scares me a little bit when we got to figure out who's going to snap the ball for Trey and block better. I mean, Brendel's
Yeah,
kind of been in the mix also, but then Brunskill is like, man, I don't know. It's
I
frustrating to
don't
deal with
know.
these two offensive linemen with no experience.
Yeah, exactly. Brendel's got very limited experience in the league, and Brunskill even I think less experience, especially at center. So
Yeah,
that's the one position that worries me. I was worried about the entire interior, but now that I've seen Banks and Buford play, I'm pretty happy with both.
yeah, that was the question mark from the offseason was the interior line. I was talking 3 spots. I've said, hey, if the interior line becomes a concern, don't be upset at the fact that I'm saying it, but it needs to be addressed. And
Mm-hmm.
from looking at what Burford did and what Banks did, I feel a little bit relief, but the center
Yeah.
spot to me is more important.
Yep. Exactly. The center spot. That's the guy giving the quarterback the ball. You need to have someone, and you can't have a Keaton Sutherland out there fumbling the ball and over snapping the quarterback. We need somebody to solidify the center spot. And it sucks that Alex Mack retired, but it is what it is. I'm glad, you know, happy for him to spend the next chapter of his life to start it. But it does
Yeah,
suck. It leaves a hole that we really need to fill.
yeah, it sucks at that point because we were hoping that he would come back, and that holding back on him coming back just backfired us a little bit. But if this center position doesn't get any better, man, there's always J.C. Treader. But
Yeah, I
how
don't
much you
know.
would think it would take for cap space to get him? If with what do the 49ers have currently on the cap space if they had a chance to go for J.C. Treader?
Right now they have about $3 million in cap room, but Treader, that's a weird one because I've been seeing things like that because he's been talking very vocal about the field situations around the NFL, and because he's the NFLPA president, that he's being blackballed, which is not right. It reminds you of the Kaepernick thing, and it's like, why is this happening? He's a great player, Treader. I mean, yeah, he's got injury concerns, but who doesn't really? Anybody
Yeah,
can get injured like that. I mean, I'm surprised he's not signed. I don't know why no one signed JC Treader yet. You got to go out and get him. Someone's got to get him.
I mean, you look at the experience and the way Shanahan covets his offensive lineman. He always valued the center position, but it doesn't seem like he is right now. Like, are we going to
Yeah,
settle with Brendo? Are we going to settle with Brunskill? Like, that's kind of an unproven spot there. I mean, we got this kid Donovan West. We got undrafted. He was
yep,
easily like he had mid round grade, but went
yeah, he
undrafted,
did.
and then
Yep,
and
yeah,
then when you look at the Jason Poole, I think his potential at center would be great because he can block. I mean, it's just I'm trying to figure out what they see in Brendo and Brunskill at that spot, man. I just don't get it.
I don't get it. I think Brunskill's best spot is out at right tackle. That's where I think
Yeah.
it is.
It's like you put him outside, he does solid. Like you put him at the right tackle spot, he's good. But you put him at guard, it's decent, not great. But put him
Yeah,
at center, it's
center.
disaster.
Yeah, so I think Brendel's going to start. I'm holding out hope that they'll sign Shredder. Hopefully,
Yeah.
or find someone who's better than Brendel and Brunskill.
I
I
mean,
was,
Shredder's out there. I mean, he's out there.
yeah, he's there. Don't know why no one signed him, but we'll see soon.
But
If he
you,
gets
but you,
signed.
but you think he's blackballed because of what he said about the field stuff, huh?
That's what I've seen online, on Twitter. People are saying that they think he's being blackballed because I just across the NFL the fields are just terrible. You're getting so many injuries, so many non-contact injuries. I mean, I'm from New York, and that MetLife Stadium, it's just terrible. When we lost Bosa and Solomon Thomas in the same game, torn ACLs, and like back-to-back plays, yeah, there's something wrong with the stadiums, with the fields, with the grass, whether it's grass or it's just artificial turf or whatever they're using. It's not working.
Yeah, artificial turfs to me is like the issue with a lot of football players because your cleats can be an issue with it and then all the other stuff. So when you put in the artificial turf, it can be kind of weird. But when
Yeah,
you put on a natural grass field, it seems normal.
yeah,
Like I think
exactly.
a natural football grass field is more safer than a astroturf.
Hmm. Yeah, I agree.
And
Definitely.
then there are some turfs that are kind of like very unsafe and rubberish, and then there's some that make you bleed on your arms.
Yeah, I, yeah, we've seen it. We've seen players go down and they're just bleeding on their arms, and it's weird. I just looked at my arm, like yeah, it can happen. I mean, they got hurt. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if players wear the sleeves because of that when they're on the turf. You don't want to get like that burning sensation and then having your skin split open and start bleeding. It's unsafe.
Yeah, that's why I'm kind of against the turf now because you look at
Yeah.
the conditions that it can lead to, like it can burn your skin, it can hurt your leg with the cleats on.
Yep.
I don't know what it is with AstroTurf, but why is the NFL still doing it? I just don't understand.
Yeah, me either.
I thought they're supposed to invest player safety, not players'
Yeah.
career ending.
Yeah, exactly.
They're more focused on protecting franchise quarterbacks than they are with players at this point.
And making money.
Yeah, that's what it is. And Roger Goodell, he just hasn't really stepped up his game. And it's kind of like at a point where maybe he needs to go.
Oh yeah, he does. I'm tired of him. He's just a puppet for the owners.
Pretty much. And then when you look at the Levi Stadium, I think our stadium hasn't been as bad as the turf lately, because we've been fixing it. Like before it,
Yeah.
players had difficulties with it.
Yep. 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 Something I give credit to Jed for is they've invested in making sure their grass, their their field is top notch. And I was at the home opener last year, like I said, being in New York, I traveled to California for the home opener, and the stadium's beautiful, and it looks top notch. It does. When I was
Yeah,
there,
it just
top
looks a
notch.
lot better the way it seems before, because before they would have issues with the players putting their cleats on.
Yeah, definitely. You'd have players changing cleats because it was that bad. Changing the cleats, the type of cleats, or whatever. I don't know. I'm not an athlete. I was never an athlete really, so I don't know if there's different kind of cleats or not. But they were changing them and still not working. Thankfully, we've seen less injuries at Levi Stadium, and this field looks much better, playing much better. It's, you know, players are playing better on it.
Yeah, it's the way they're adapting to it. And then, so when you come from New York, what's the difference of you ever been to MetLife Stadium on their field or not?
I've never been. That was my first NFL game that I was at. Was at Levi's for the home opener. So no, I've never been to another stadium, but seeing it during the 2020 season and seeing what's happened and looking at the turf, it was just terrible. I mean, and they're trying to justify that, oh, it's up to par with standards. And it was like, how can it be when you've got two players who just tore their ACL like that, and you got players that play there each week getting hurt? Barkley got hurt that year playing there, I think.
Yeah, the condition of the field, it's just like for some players, if you're going to play the Jets and Giants at MetLife, you might as well just skip that game and avoid the injuries. I mean,
Yeah,
it's no joke.
yeah. No, it's no, it's not a joke, and you're risking serious injuries, especially to your legs, your knee, ankle, anywhere from the knee down. You're risking injury. I mean,
Yeah,
with anything, any field you go on, but especially that AstroTurf, and the fact that an outdoor stadium uses it, it's, I'm just, I can't believe it.
yeah, it's just I just don't get how they can't improve the quality of those fields a little bit better. But I would think they're just trying to do too much of these technology stuff. They think, oh, AstroTurf works great, it's more safer, but it's not. Trust me, it's
Right?
not. I played in football turf, and there's a difference. Sometimes your cleats get freaking stuck. You
Man,
don't even see it coming.
it's got to suck, big time.
Big
Yeah,
time.
the closest I've been to a turf is at an actual arena football game. Seeing, like, indoor, okay, I get that. You're playing arena football, whether it was the Arena Football League, the IFL, the NAL, whatever it was. But this is the NFL, multi-billion-dollar corporation, company, basically. 32 franchises, 30 stadiums that can invest better in their fields, because their players are what's making them that money. And they're making it off of the players, and they're making it off of us from watching it, from getting merchandise, from getting anything, the NFL ticket, whatever it is.
Oh yeah, it is. They just invest too much on the money stuff, and they don't really care much about the safety in general. But yeah, like you said, it's a multi-billion-dollar business. You have all 32 teams, and you got a lot of players who are the greatest at their position, but they're at risk because of these football turfs. But when you look at the investment that they should do, they should, if they're more concerned about player safety, they need to look more into those type of stuff. But
Mm-hmm.
that is a discussion that we all can look forward to at some point. But when you look at the current Niners cap space, you said we're currently at 3 million. So as soon as we cut Jimmy Garoppolo, before the season, how much you think we're going to save in cap space total?
Okay, now this is what gets tricky with Jimmy is, once he's cleared to be cut, which will be by the 30th, by a week from what, tomorrow? I think it is. A week from tomorrow, 30th, the final cut down. And when he's cut, because he ain't going to get traded because there's no team that's going to take him on. They'll save over $24 million, but the thing is, when the final roster is constructed, the way they make it, because right now you've only got your top 51 salaries counting against the cap. So when the season begins, they're going to have about $18 million in cap room to spend. That's going to include the fact that they have the 53-man roster, their practice squad, and the 4 injured players right now that are on injured lists. That's Jordan Matthews, Hurst, Verrett, and Khalil Davis, the rookie from UCF. So we'll have about $18 million. So we'll have some money to go out there, and hopefully they can go after a Treader or whoever may get cut. They can go after.
Yeah, that's the interesting part about these cuts. Is like you're gonna see these surprise cuts, and it's gonna. It might take a player getting cut from a previous team to get our attention, because sometimes it's happened with a lot of teams. Like, just because that player got cut, that next team can get them. Just like, for example, our running backs, it's pretty deep.
Yeah,
But when you look at it, I'm scared at cutting one of them because Seattle could take it.
Yep. Yeah. The good thing about the running back, though, is if they were to cut someone like, the only one, but Jeff Wilson Jr., he's a vested veteran. He doesn't go through waivers. So if the 49ers say, hey, we'll bring you back, if you want to come back for the practice squad, they'll sign him the next day to the practice squad.
Yeah, that would be something we look at, because we want to always keep these players and develop them. But here's a good question. If Jimmy doesn't get signed elsewhere, do you think they bring him back on a cheaper deal? Like, what do you think? You think that's kind of like an interesting question, or you think we're still going to have to pay him even a little more as a backup?
I don't think they bring him back.
I agree.
Despite what Jet has said that they're willing to keep him, I think that's just more about, hey, we're willing to keep him, but really we just want to, anybody want him? Here, he's for trade still. It's like they're shopping him, but yet they're willing to keep him. It makes no sense. I mean, I respect Jed and what he's done and what he's doing, but we can't afford to keep him, not at that salary. If he were to want to come back on a minimum deal, sure, but I wouldn't pay him more than I'm paying Sudfeld, which is $2 million. I mean, he's already got a lot of money from us. It's time to move on.
Yeah, I agree. It's time to move on. And plus, the cap space just isn't going to help his case to stick around. And plus, we want to invest more on Trey Lance, so we don't want him to look behind the shoulder with a guy like Jimmy.
Exactly.
You want to build the kid's confidence, so you don't want to have a guy that people respect in the locker room, because if it comes down to the struggles, they're going to go into the locker room and say, hey, don't worry, we can just have him say, we got Jimmy, let's put Jimmy back or whatever. We don't want to hear that, please.
No, we don't. We want to see Trey, whether he's good or bad this year, we want to see him develop. He needs to develop. We invested 3 first-round picks and a third into getting him, so we need to, really play him. Let him start.
When you make that big investment for a guy like him, you have to play him at some point. So that's for the way we invested Trey Lance, we gave up multiple first-round picks and a third. So you gotta play this guy one way or another, or it's a wasted investment.
Yeah. Yeah, you gave up 2 future ones, 3, you traded up, swapping your first-round picks, got Trey Lance, and now it's time to play him. And he needs to play. He needs to go through the growing pains. He's not going to come out and light up the NFL right away, I don't think, but I think he's going to be really good. And the only way to get good, really good, is by letting him start week 1.
Exactly. I don't think he's going to start off right away. I think he's going to come off good late in the season off the gate. I think he's going to have his growing pains quickly, but it's going to come with struggles a little here and there. But
Yep.
we're going to see how he wins those adversity games. And maybe this is what tests him during the season because we want to see what he can be as a full-time starter. The
Yeah,
only
exactly.
question mark the only question mark that everybody has with Trey Lance is the experience. So we'll find out about it.
Yeah, but you got to figure he has Debo, he has Ayuk, he has Kittle, he has that great running game. I mean, even if he struggles in the passing game, he can rely on short, you know, passes to Debo and Ayuk and let them break tackles and Kittle. So even if he struggles early on, I still am expecting a good season out of them as a whole, especially
For sure.
the defense with Bosa and everybody.
Ooh, you know what? This is a really good question by Martin Miles. Do you think Trey would have been there at your original pick or was moving up the right choice? I think moving up was the right choice because the Carolina Panthers actually they were very high on him and we were trying to
Yeah,
move up before them, but Panthers said no. And there was talks about maybe the Panthers were definitely wanting to get him. So that's why the Niners made that quick move. So,
yeah, I agree. I don't think Trey would have lasted to pick 12. No,
I
I
mean,
was I was surprised Fields lasted to 10. So I don't think he would have.
yeah, Fields lasted a little bit, but he didn't last too long. But
Nope.
a lot of the analysts were pushing for Mac Jones. In a way, I just said it doesn't make any sense. Like, does Shanahan want to go back to what made us not go nowhere? Like, we're technically going for another Garoppolo. If I'm being honest, you want to elevate this offense more, or you want to take a step the same direction?
Exactly. I was on pins and needles during the entire draft process. I'm like, Mac, he's good and all, but it's like he's Jimmy 2.0. I mean, he's maybe has a slightly higher ceiling, but then you've got a guy like Trey Lance or Justin Fields, and you got these mobile quarterbacks that I'd rather have a guy that's more dynamic than another guy that's just not. And when they made that pick, I literally said, F yeah. I was like, thank you. When Goodell said Trey Lance, I was like, thank God. I did not want Mac Jones. I would have supported it, but I would not have been happy. I would have been like, okay, let's see how he does. But I was either Trey or Justin. And I'm very happy with Trey.
I mean, for me, I was on the Trey all the way. I just wasn't convinced with when I looked at guys like Mac Jones. I'm like saying, dude, this is just another damn quarterback of Shanahan. That would fit him, but we don't need that. I look at Justin Fields. I'm saying Ohio State quarterbacks they have not produced.
Yeah,
I've seen enough
yeah,
of those guys,
yeah.
so I'm just gonna back away. And I
I
know
was
there were some
worried.
Niner fans. Yeah,
Yeah, I was worried about the Ohio State thing. Just like I worry about the USC quarterbacks and the Alabama quarterbacks. Mac Jones, Alabama quarterback. I'm like, eh. So when we took Trey Lance, I was like, when I heard they were like it was down to Trey or Mac, I was like, it better be Trey. And I was like, good. I love Trey Lance.
yeah. When I was looking more into Justin Fields, I just wasn't bought into it, and I know a lot of the Niner fans were really wanting this guy,
Yeah.
and I was kind of against it, because I just didn't see nothing impressive, and I know there's some feel that way about me, but I just wasn't that into him like most of the Niner fans. And then when I say I'm not, when I said it's not going to be Justin Fields, they automatically call me a Mac Jones fanboy, and I keep trying to prove a point that I'm not. I say, hey, I'd be okay with him, but I wouldn't like the pick personally. But
Yeah.
I wanted Trey Lance, and then when I told him it's Trey Lance, bro, I ain't gonna go with no other quarterback because when I see a guy with high upside and raw potential. He fits this offense. Like, you look at a Justin Fields, you had to tailor made his skill set. And you look at Mac Jones, you have to limit it.
Oh, yeah, Mac Jones is limited. And I'm not even sure how he's going to do with he doesn't have an offensive coordinator. I mean, sure, maybe it's going to be Bill Belichick calling the plays, but I don't know how he's going to do. I mean, as much as we like to joke about McDaniel's first run in Denver being terrible, I mean, he's got a pretty good team in Las Vegas.
Oh, yeah.
Right now, and I think he's going to be a good coach, and I think they're going to miss him big time in New England.
Oh, but I don't like to answer Martin Miles' question, man. He puts on pretty good questions. As far as Jimmy, I don't know about going to the Patriots, man. It's kind of a good insurance policy to have in case Matt Jones gets injured, but then I think Jimmy wants to find a starting job. So it's going to have to come down between the Texans. This may sound as a surprise, but I might even go into Seattle for this one because they don't have to trade nothing.
No, if I'm Seattle, I'm waiting until they cut him, and then I call him right away because he can sign right away. He doesn't have to wait and be like, yeah, come on in. I mean, really, you're gonna go with Drew Lock or Geno Smith at quarterback? I mean, Houston, Davis Mills, he looks good, but yeah. When Zach Wilson injury happened, I thought if it was an ACL, that made perfect sense. Saleh knows him, LaFleur is their coordinator, but then, so that wasn't going to happen.
I mean, there's not much starting jobs for Jimmy, so it's like maybe Seattle because they don't have a quarterback. Like, as much as I have to say it, like, Geno's not the answer, Drew Lock's not the answer. Davis Mills is kind of like that mystery, but maybe they really like this kid so much. But Miami, they're trying to redeem the stuff that's been said behind the scenes. I just don't think they believe in Tua like everybody else makes it sound like. You were trying to make a move for Watson. You were trying to get Tom Brady to come to Miami. So don't tell me you believe in Tua because it's nothing but full of BS. And you just signed Teddy Bridgewater, so you're not that confident with the kid.
No, they're not. Tua, and I don't think Tua. It's nothing personal. I think he's a good quarterback. I don't think he's the quarterback of the future, franchise quarterback. I don't think he's a franchise quarterback.
I just think his talent is what it is. Like, you don't see like a lot of stuff that wows the fans, he kind of seems like a game manager if anything else, but he doesn't elevate much of the football team. Yeah, I was thinking maybe the Jets too. Oh, he's gotten reception issue, guys, but he'll be back. We'll probably just go on for 20 more minutes, and then we'll try to end on a high note. But he's back, guys. He's back. Reception.
Sorry about
those East Coast receptions, man.
Yeah. Let me set this camera back down to...
It's all good, man. I was just playing around with the reception part, man.
All
But
right.
yeah.
Yeah, Jets. I was thinking maybe the Jets too would have been an opportunity, but I think they're set with Flacco.
Yeah, because Flacco is a veteran. He's been around. He's won a Super Bowl too. So I don't know. He's not the same player, but he's still decent.
He ain't the same player, but yeah, decent quarterback. And I remember we went after him last year, but we didn't get him. So.
It was intriguing when we had him for a workout. Like, dude, we're looking to sign a guy who beat us in the Super Bowl to be our backup. Seriously?
Yeah. But
then we got Then we got Nate Sudfeld. We paid this guy $2 million to be our backup. I thought this was a joke, man. Why you give this guy some guaranteed money? This guy is not even that good of a backup. I've seen better backups, man. You ever heard of Nick Mullins or other quarterbacks we couldn't even keep in?
Yeah, Nick Mullins. And he just got traded to the Vikings today.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and you look at the Vikings quarterback, Sean Mannion and Kellen Mond looked terrible.
Yeah. And they have to go out and get Nick Mullins.
Ever heard of Blake Bortles? He's still around.
Blake Bortles.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Why not make a call for Gardner Minshew from the Eagles? He can't be that bad of a backup.
Yeah, I know. I'd rather have Minshew.
Yeah, Minshew mania.
I remember that. That was crazy, but yeah, that got back down. That was like here, and then boom, went down. Like we couldn't see it. Okay, maybe, no.
Nah, he was hype. Like everybody was talking about his. He was good, but they were talking too much about the hype in his mustache.
Yeah, the mustache was like Minshew mania. The mustache, this, that, and he's talented. I think he'll get a chance at some point in his career to be a starter, but probably won't happen anytime soon. I think he's with the Eagles anyway, right?
Yeah, they're trying to they believe in Hurts, so they're giving him a chance. And plus, to be fair with Jalen Hurts, he does have a mobility skill set. He just doesn't have too much of an arm talent, but he definitely has the better supporting cast. Like, you look at the wide receivers they got now, like they just got A.J. Brown. Devontae Smith just needed a complement receiver, and they got a slot receiver named Watkins who isn't too bad, and their tight end's pretty solid. So offensive line should be good.
Yeah, they got Quez Watkins. They got that Dallas Goedert.
Mm-hmm.
Jalen Rieger, I'm not sure how good he is.
He's going to get cut. I've heard bad things about him.
Yeah, I've heard bad things too. I wasn't sure how well he's done. I haven't really paid attention to many of the other teams.
Yeah. Like most of the teams I try to keep track with on different purposes, but when I look at different teams that are leaning towards it that way, I mean, there's a lot of different moves, but yeah, roster cut's going to be pretty interesting how it comes down. I'm hoping that we do find a solid center out there at least.
I hope so.
Ooh, you know what? Martin Miles is a brilliant question marker, I must say. Is there a player you think that should make the 53-man roster that won't due to lack of space or inexperience? Man, this was easy. I think my answer is Jason Poe. I think he's going to get cut because of the fact that he's still a work in progress, but I feel like you should find a way to keep him. I think he'll get cut based because we got veterans, and it's going to probably take him a year to learn. So I think he'll be a good investment, but I think he'll be cut.
Yeah, I lean toward Jason Poe or Jordan Mason.
Mason
makes the team. Not because of lack of, talent. There's just no space. I'm not sure they're gonna cut Sermon. He hasn't looked good, but Shanahan, I don't know if he's gonna just let go of him like that. And then, I think he can. I do think both Poe and Mason can make it through waivers.
We're hoping they can make it to the practice squad, but I just don't see. I don't see Donovan West makes the team either because I think they don't. He hasn't impressed us enough at center, so I think he might be gone. Yeah, will he make the practice squad, or someone else would pick him off? What are you referring to, Jordan Mason or Jason Poe? Because I think for Jordan Mason, he could have a chance to be picked up by an active roster team. Because Seattle, for example.
Yeah.
Or Arizona. Who knows?
Arizona, Seattle, the Rams, of course. But yeah.
But I think for Jason Poe I think he might be a nice project to keep because I don't think no team's going to pick him up and just put him on the roster for no reason, bro. Like, he has to have a role on the team, and I don't think they're gonna play him right away. I think for Poe's situation, he's a perfect example of developing as a potential starter down the road, and maybe you keep him on your practice squad and have him for next year to compete.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, Poe.
Because he ain't ready. He ain't ready right now.
He ain't ready to start. He's not ready to be one of your 8 active offensive linemen. So, yeah, I think he makes it through waivers. Mason, I think he hopefully makes it through, but I could see him getting claimed.
There's going to be a team.
Yeah, I thought Justin Hilliard was going to make it through waivers last year, but the Giants claimed him. So,
yeah, they did.
He was the kid that Nick Bosa was high on, and I was hoping they were going to keep him or put him on the practice squad, and saw what happened.
Yeah, like, I think Poe would probably be our best chance of keeping on the roster because there's not much to look at. But if we do the right things the right way, there's going to be a good chance we develop this guy into a starter at some point. Like, I feel like it's not a bad idea for him to be in a situation to where he could be on the practice squad for 1 year and then maybe make the leap for next year to make a case for the center spot.
Yeah, I mean, look at Juwan Jennings. He was on the practice squad for his rookie season. I mean, it was the COVID season, so say what you want, but he made that leap from year 1 to year 2. Last year, he was that third down machine. We needed a third down conversion. Give it to Juwan Jennings. I think Poe can definitely do that. He can become that, maybe that future center. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, the center spot to me is weak.
Oh, it's weak. I'm very hesitant. I'm very scared by who's going to be the center week 1. Really hope it's not Brunskill, and then I really hope it's not Brendel, but then who else is it going to be? If they both,
it seems like they really like Brendel a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, it's at least it's not going to be Sutherland because that's terrible.
Sutherland kid is terrible. Nothing personal. He just can't snap the ball.
Yeah, they're trying him at center.
Yeah, he's a natural right guard. Natural guard, not a center.
Yeah, they're trying too hard, but then they got this Nick Zagil guy. I've heard he can even play center too.
Yeah, he can. Yeah. He's someone that I thought might make it as a 9th offensive lineman. So it'll be interesting to see if they keep 8 or 9. Especially with, do they keep 8 and go heavier somewhere else, like keep an extra running back? Because maybe they don't think Mason will get through waivers, or Hasty, or Sermon. Maybe they don't want to get rid of Sermon. Maybe they don't think he'll make it through waivers to get to the practice squad. Something that we just have to wait and see next week.
Yeah, we definitely do. And the running back position, it's kind of like really good, but man, the only one that just hasn't wowed us is Trey Sermon, and maybe it's just the preseason. Maybe he's starting to shake off the jitters, but I'm hoping.
Yeah.
I'm hoping it's worth it if we keep him. Oh well, but if we cut him, it's not like a big loss. We can just give it to Mason. Mason seems like he's ready to roll.
Yep. And I do like Ty Davis-Price. I think he's had a better preseason.
Oh yeah, the physical back. Like when he runs the ball, he runs with purpose. Like he's gonna hurt you.
Yeah. He's gotta not dance so much. He needs to just go, boom. Big back, go right at him. So.
Right on the mouth, man. He just has to run with physicality. Trey Sermon dances too damn much too, man. So that's like the problem.
He does. Yeah, that's the problem. Trey, but in the first game he showed more patience, I think, But then the second game, it just went back to where he was last year. I felt like he was getting undeservingly this so much hate after the first game, and then after the second game, I can see why people aren't so high on him. But like I said, we
because
gotta
of his
wait and see
performance.
next
Yeah,
week. Yeah, you gotta perform.
and of
Two
course
things
you're
in
gonna
the
get a lot of criticism.
two things in the NFL you need to do: perform and be available. No
Yeah.
injuries and be able to perform if you want to play on Sundays.
Especially
Consistent
with all those
play,
injuries too.
exactly.
So when you look at most of the running backs, like Jordan Mason, he doesn't dance as much. He just runs straight forward without even dancing.
Yeah, he hits the holes and he's just off runs. I'm impressed by him. I'm worried we're gonna lose him. I am.
That's the only concern there because he might be the one that's cut at this point. But
Yeah.
then you look at the receiver spot. I feel like that sixth receiver is going to be viable.
I wonder, do we keep six receivers? Because who do you keep? You've got the top five. You got Debo, Brandon, Jawan, McLeod, and Gray are all going to be active each week, barring injury. And you're not going to have six receivers active. And Malik Turner is more of a special teams kind of guy. And I don't know who would it be, and is the player even going to see playing time? Would you be better suited to just keep a fifth running back? Just to, we have so many injuries in the running backs in the backfield. Keep Mason then, or keep
That's what we're
Hasty.
hoping
Keep
for.
keep running. Yeah,
But realistically, I think we are likely going to keep at least six receivers. So when I look at it, it may come down between Malik Turner and Willie Snead, who kind of has the more experience. But then you look at
yeah.
a guy like Tay Martin. Don't be surprised if he sneaks in. Maybe they might see something that we don't see.
Yeah. He actually doesn't look that bad, but again, it's against threes, so that third string players.
Yeah, the ones that don't make the team or something like that, or go look elsewhere.
Yeah, it's like the first and second string guys are your NFL and like practice squad guys, and then your third string and fourth string guys are like, okay, you're gonna have to go play over in the CFL or the Arena League to get back into the NFL to get better.
At least you got to look over there.
Yeah, yeah. Or you can be the guys that end up in the spring football leagues, which the USFL is back, and then the XFL comes back next spring in 2023.
Yeah. It just gives us the chance to see who makes the team, and we find the better backups and the guys who can step in with the starters. And I
Yeah.
like what I've seen so far with the guards. Aaron Banks kind of showed me a little flashes. Spencer
Yep.
Burford's already showing me exactly what I expect him to be.
Yep.
Running back is not an issue. I feel like it's one of our strengths. Wide receiver of this year, I feel like it's a lot better than last year.
Our receivers a lot better because we don't have, we don't have to rely on Mohamed Sanu or Travis Benjamin. Now Juwan's come on into his own. Danny Gray looks great. You got a reliable kick returner, and I love McLeod. I know he has fumble issues, but they'll work on it with him, and I think it'll be fine. And of course, Debo and Brandon are just I think they're one of the best 1-2 punch at receiver that in the NFL.
Yeah, I agree on that part. And then you look at our secondary, the cornerback position. It was one of our weakest spots last year. Now we kind of made it into our strength. I feel very confident with those positions.
Yep, Travarius Ford, Emmanuel Mosley look good. They haven't played, but I'm confident in them come week one. And Like I said, Womack, he looks great. That gem. Yep. I'm
And
confident in the corner and the receivers. We'll see safety wise. I like Rafanga. And we just got to see what happens with Ward. Hopefully he can come back healthy.
yeah, man. You know what I nicknamed Samuel Womack?
You did what now?
You want to know what I nicknamed Samuel Womack?
What do you nickname him?
Womack Attack.
Nice. Womack attack.
It kind of
Why
rhymes with
not?
it, but why not? Yeah, because he's
Yeah,
gonna attack the
why
ball.
not? He
He's
is.
gonna attack the ball.
He's already got 2 interceptions and a fumble recovery on special teams. So, Womack attack. I like it.
Yeah, Womack Attack. So, okay, before we end this on a high note, man, name me one rookie or one veteran player that you expect to break out for the 49ers that should be a surprise for all the fans to expect.
A surprise? So I can't think
Yeah,
of anybody.
for the veterans, like you can have two sides of the offense. I mean, not two sides. One side of the offense for the veterans, and then on the defense, and then you had the one rookie class, like one player.
Okay, veteran-wise, I think it's going to be Javon Kinlaw. I think Kinlaw is going to break out. Rookie-wise, this is a tough one. I'd say Womack is definitely going to surprise. I think he already has. And then Danny Gray. I think he's going to be a real nice addition to the offense. Yeah.
Okay, so for
But
we're looking on.
But Burford, I'm not saying anything bad about Burford or anything, but I have a hard time with the offensive line. Like, what is it like breaking out with? But he's going to also be really good. So it's nothing against, like, I don't think I have high hopes for Burford. I think he's going to be a really good right guard for us this year. But when you're talking about, like, having a breakout season, I think it might be Womack or Gray.
Oh, okay. I definitely agree on what you're saying as far as production. Yes, offense line doesn't get the production; they just do the nice job on the blocking part. But when I look at breakout players for veteran wise, not much film. It's going to be unexpected. Nobody knows. They've only seen 2.5 games. Trey Lance is the veteran now, but he's just playing a rookie year. So I guess you can say he does consider himself as a rookie. So I'll put him as a rookie list. So I'll put Trey. He's a dark horse. On defense, a rookie, Drake Jackson. I feel like he's going to step up and play pretty well.
Yep, Drake Jackson.
Create some havoc, some pressure.
He's going to be a stud. He's going to be that guy that we hope D Ford was. He's going to be that nice, speedy edge rusher. I cannot wait till he's in the starting lineup, because I think that's going to come quickly.
Yeah, he's catching on pretty quickly, and then when you watch his preseason games, dude, he's already getting to the quarterback, but he's already creating pressure. Wow.
Yeah, exactly. Thankfully, it was just a stinger, so he'll be good to go. And he played the other night, so he's good.
Yeah, that's good, man. Definitely, man. But hey, thank you for being on the show, bro. We'll definitely need to work on something at some point down the road. But man, it's an awesome feeling, man.
Anytime, brother. Anytime.
Yeah, but
thank you.
No problem, man. Thank you for your time, and as always, CG Roofless Sports and 49ersCap is out, and I'll see y'all later. Peace.
Peace.